we're back. SPC, the home edition. We're gonna get the turd out of the woods, the weeds, the barn. It's been sitting for a minute. As y'all obviously see, there's even been some kind of critter making his home on it. But we're gonna get this thing out. The woman Steady did an amazing job at weed eating the other day. Man, could weed eat the world. But now we got a good space to work with. We're gonna get this thing out of the weeds and get it in the shop so we can tear it apart and make it a little bit more reliable so we can drive it a lot more places than around town and having to work on it every time we get in this piece of junk. All right, for those of y'all that don't know, I built this truck probably 2011, 2012. This was 2 crew cab Chevrolets that we whacked into and put back together, and is now a 6-door 83 Chevrolet Dually. And as you can see, it's never really been this nice. It's always been a turd. I think we should name it the turd. But we've over the years made it a little bit nicer over the years, but it needs a lot more love. It's never intended to be real nice. We just want something that we can drive around in. But we're going to see if we can't get it started because it's been sitting for a while. We had to get the old jump box and see if we can get it. And while we're jumping it off and getting it charging, I'll probably put some pictures, because I didn't video stuff way back in the day, so pictures is probably what I have from the original build when we first started putting it together, of whacking the 2 trucks into and building the cab, building the chassis, and all of that. I'll throw some pictures in this little time-lapse thing right now. All right, let's go see if this bucket runs. Still, that's good.
Alright guys, this is the back half of the cab that we cut in 2 and used for the back half of the doors. This is us cutting it. We used to chop saw back in the day because that's what we had, and we didn't really know any better. We didn't know what tools to use, and they just worked. We cut it in 2. This was some pictures of the back of the cab after we cut it. We cut one cab in the middle of the back 2 doors, and then we cut the other cab in the middle of the front 2 doors, and we put them in together right in the middle, because the backs of all the doors were the same as Sport by Chevrolet. The front door was different, so we only had to weld the cab one time right in the middle. This is it as we're building it. We just built it on the floor. We didn't have no jig or anything, and we just kind of throwed it together. This is us after we've got it together and halfway mocked up, and we're picking it up and putting it on the cab. This is it after we've got the cab put back on. It's starting to look more like a truck. We worked on it at night time. I worked the whole day job, and then we was building it at night when I got off work. Right here is where we started doing the air ride. We put it on like a mono leaf because we didn't have the money to get the 4-link kit. It's still mono leaf right now. I need the 4-link kit. I just never took the time to do it now. This was the air ride parts we bought. I bought a lot of the stuff that I thought I needed, and then there was some stuff that I bought that I didn't even use because I didn't like it after I had bought it. This was us mocking stuff up. we made all the air ride brackets and stuff for the rear. It actually bolted together right over the leaf springs in the factory U-bolts. It was just an old turd. We were balling on a budget, and we was just trying to ride around town looking. We was trying to build a work truck. We use it for work truck things. Right here we put the bed back on. It starts looking like a truck right here. You can see the big tires we used to have. That's how they got the holes in the fender. This is when we cleaned the cab and raptored the whole floor, and then we put the fat matting in, which is way harder than it makes it look on TV, but it helped a lot. These are the wheels after I got them. I polished them. This was a trophy we got at the Kirby Cooks 89 Speed Shop. This is my little girl cleaning the wheels. This is what it looked like when we decided to go camping one day.
As y'all can see, this is just an old wore out small block, like number 3. And we have an engine driven compressor on ours because we don't like listening to that thing in the back going all day long. So we had this. This was just stuff that we had back in the day that we was balling on a budget. I made that bracket just to make it fit and stuff like that. We're going to pull this motor out, put a 6-liter and a 6L90 in it. I got most of the stuff here to do it. I got to get the brackets for the air conditioning compressor and the brackets for the AC compressor. So other than that, we should have most of the stuff already here to get on this project. As you can see, it's just an old truck. We did have the semi wheels on it that we got off a Freightliner. Real good friend of mine gave me. It's got a rag top that used to be black, but now it's like a green color because y'all know, live in the South, everything turns green and dusty. It's just an old work truck. Any way you look at it, it was never real nice. We've got most of the interior done. I got to get some seats and stuff. See, got to get a couple seats. Got a new dash the last time we worked on it. I fixed all the door panels. They all match now, so all that's good. Got the windows and all tinted. Good air condition. We put these little light panels and stuff in here that are really, really bright, by the way. I mean, I think it's turned all the way down now. No, that's all the way down, but at nighttime, it is really bright. So that way you can see. But, just an old truck that we beat around town in. All right, we're gonna let it build up some air and see if we can't get it out of the weeds and kind of wash it off and clean it off a little bit before we put it in the building. All right, let's see if this old turd will air up, and if it does, we'll drive it out of the weeds. All right, now that we've got it out in the front of the shop, you can see a little bit more about it. It's just an old tan truck. Back in the day, we rubbed a hole in the bed right here when we had the factory wheels and tires on it. It would lean. It didn't have all the right valves and stuff. It would lean, and it rubbed a hole in it over the years. But since then, we've put smaller wheels and tires in a different rear end. This sweet bumper right here is what happens when you back into parking spots and forget to raise the truck up high enough to clear over the little parking tag, and you catch the little tacking tab. We've done ripped up 2 of them little bumpers. But this is pretty much it. That is a rear end out of a ton truck, like old dump truck, and they are like 3.5 inches narrower on each side Like you can see how close the brakes are to the leaf springs. Yep, we're still leaf sprung. It's just an old mono leaf. We was balling on a budget. I got the stuff to put the 4-link on it, but we haven't done it yet. So if it had enough balls to spin the tires, it would probably sling the dry shaft out of it. So I do not suggest mono leafing it on one airbag or on one leaf spring. It's not good for it, but it is what it is. But same on this side over here. It's an old wore out truck. Needs a bath. We're gonna try to wash it up a little bit, clean it up, get it going. All right, we'll probably have this little time lapse thing going on right here for a second, because it might take a minute to wash something this big. I'm not gonna lie. We're not gonna get it real clean. We're just trying to get it clean enough we can work on it. Kind of dirty. All right, well, now that y'all can see we've spent all that time washing this turd, it really ain't any nicer than it was before we washed it. It looks the exact same. It just might have a little bit cleaner windows and a little bit cleaner rag top. That was my Father's Day gift. 1 year for Father's Day. Look at that. How many of y'all got wives that buy y'all rag tops for Father's Day? Huh? I think it's pretty cool. And we didn't have to do any of the body work to sand the roof. So it worked out. But you can see, definitely looks the same. It's not the nicest thing in the world. It's just kind of odd, so everybody likes it. It sticks out. I've definitely noticed when you drive around in something raggedy, if you're going to be broke down somewhere, drive around in something raggedy, because everybody wants to stop and help you. All right, we're going to see about pulling this thing in the building and start tearing it apart. Guys, well, we got it in the building. We're gonna get it tore apart here and get started on tearing it apart. That'll probably do it for this video. I'm gonna try to make this a whole series of videos. Like, we'll take the whole front end off and the motor and stuff out next, and then we'll get the other truck up here. We still gotta pull the motor and stuff out of the other truck, put it in this one. We'll get all that stuff done and make it a whole series to keep people something to watch. You know, try to do our best to keep you entertained. Just let y'all know, I heard on the radio today here in North Carolina, it is so hot and my sweat has sweat. It's hot. But just remember, God is good and He gives us the opportunity to do what we do. All right, as my buddy Dave would say, we're off like a herd of turkeys.